Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another session of structural analysis 2. So, in today's class, we will see another problem related to stiffness matrix method. Okay. So, the question is analyze the continuous beam shown in figure using stiffness matrix method. So in this question we have a continuous beam. We have here a continuous beam, and for this beam we have a simply support here at this location, and we have one more roller support at this location, and again we have another simply support at this location. So this part is cantilever, and this distance is 3 meter, and this is 2I given, and this distance is 2 this is 10 meters totally, and this is given as 2I, and we have a central point load of 20 kilonewton at 5 meters, and here also we have 5 meters. Along with that we have one more load at this location which is 10 kilonewton, and for this part we have an eccentric load of magnitude 25 kilonewton, and this distance is 3 meter and this distance is 2 meter, and this is given as I, and we have exactly a point load of magnitude 10 kilonewton here, and the distance is 2 meter and this is I. Okay, this is how the beam is given to us. All right, so what we do here is, in this part of beam, since we have here at this location we have this part and this part we have cantilever. Okay, so for the case of stiffness matrix method we cannot calculate for cantilever. Okay, so what we do in case of cantilevers, whenever we come across cantilever portion while solving in stiffness matrix method, in case of stiffness matrix method, what we do, because of this load, because of this 10 kilonewton load, what happens to the beam, what happens at this support? At this support we'll be having a moment, isn't it? Because of this load we'll be having an anti-clockwise moment here, and because of this load my beam will try to get deflected in this direction. So here also we'll be having a moment. Okay, what will be the moment? Moment will be 10 into 3, which is equal to 30 kilonewton meter, 30 kilonewton meter at this location, and here 10 into 2 is 20 kilonewton meter. So on the left side at this portion the 30 kilonewton meter will act in anti-clockwise direction, whereas 20 kilonewton meter will act in clockwise direction, isn't it? So what I will do here for this particular beam, I will try to draw another beam. You can see here carefully what I am doing here is I am drawing another beam wherein I'll start from this part. I'll start from this part, particularly this part. I'm adding here a support here, and here also at this location I'm adding a hinge support here, and along with that what I'll do, I'll try to draw an anti-clockwise moment and a clockwise moment like this. So this is point A, I'm naming this as point A, and the moment developed because of this cantilever portion is how much? 30 kilonewton meter. Okay, after that we have this part of the beam. After 10 meters, somewhere around here, we can draw our roller support. Okay, so at the central part of the span we have 5 meter and 5 meter. This is 20 kilonewton. Okay, this is 20 kilonewton, and the total span is 10 meter, and this is how much? 2i. So I'll name this as B. And after that we have here at this part we have another point load 25 kilonewton. This is 2 meter and 3 meter. So A, B and C I'm writing here. Alright, so A, B and C. So we have 25 kilonewton, and what is this moment? This moment is 20 kilonewton meter. How we got this 20? 10 into 2, this 10 into 2 will give us 20 kilonewton meter. Okay, so this is how we got. So after this one, what we do here is, so before calculation we'll see, I'll try to first take our stiffness matrix formula, that is delta is equal to K inverse into P minus P dash. We know this. So what is this K? We are recalling this one. K is nothing but stiffness matrix, isn't it? K is stiffness matrix, and this P is moment due to external load. Moment due to external load, and P dash is nothing but fixed and moments. And what is this delta? Delta is nothing but our theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and so on, isn't it? This is our thetas, delta. Okay, so the very first thing what we do here is, we'll go back to our previous cases. What we used to do here, in case of this beam, particularly this portion, particularly at this location, at this point, at this location, at point A, we'll try to rotate our joint, isn't it? So I'll name this as node 1, this point as node 1, then node 2, then this as node 3. So we can see here, we can observe here carefully. What happens here is, since we have hinged support everywhere, so we will be having theta A, theta B and theta C, isn't it? So you can see in the problem we have theta A, theta B and theta C. So I'll write here, for this particular problem we have theta A not equal to 0, similarly theta B is not equal to 0, and even theta C is not equal to 0. If we have fixed support, then theta will be equal to 0, isn't it? So theta A not equal to 0, theta B is not equal to 0, theta C is also not equal to 0. So what happens? The kinematic indeterminacy of the structure, that is kinematic indeterminacy of the structure is now 3. So that means my matrix or my stiffness matrix will be, size of matrix will be 3 by 3. Okay, in previous problem the size of the matrix was only 2 by 2, but here since we have theta A, theta B and theta C which is not equal to 0, so because of which the kinematic indeterminacy of the structure has become 3. So thereby the size of the matrix will be 3 by 3. Alright, so what we do here is, in the first case we will try to rotate, we try to apply a clockwise moment at this location. We'll try to rotate this support in clockwise moment. So because of which what happens, my beam will try to get deflected in this fashion, isn't it? My beam will try to get deflection in this way. Alright, So we'll do one thing, I'll try to draw another beam here so that it will be clear for us. So this is our beam, right? So this is our beam. We have here this hinge support, and here we have roller support, and here we have again a hinge support. So what I am doing here, I am trying to apply a rotation at point A. This is point A, B and C. So if I apply a rotation at this location, what happens? My beam will try to get deflected like this. Okay. So this is my node 1, this is node 2 and this is node 3. So what happens? What happens to K11? K11 is equal to rotation at A, and what is the stiffness at point A? So we can write it as 4EI by L for span 4EI by L for span AB, because the rotation is at the same place. Okay. Similarly, what we do for after 4EI by L, we will try to write 4E. What is the value of I given to us for span AB? For span AB, you can see here we have 2I, and for this span it is I, right? So what we do here is we write here 2I for this span, and for this span it is I. So 4E 2I. What is the span of span AB? 10 meters. So what happens here is 0.8 EI, that is K11 is equal to 0.8 EI. What about K12? K12 is nothing but at this location what happens? There is a rotation, isn't it? There is a rotation at this location, but here at this point we don't have any rotation here. So what will happen to K12? K12 will be equal to 2EI by L for span AB or BA, space AB or BA. So 2EI is again 2I whole divided by 10, which is equal to 0.4 EI. So K12 is equal to 0.4 EI. So this is K12 we got. Okay. Next is K13. Yes. What will happen to K13? So I'm talking about this one. So since the rotation is here, rotation is at this location, rotation is at A. So span BC does not have any effect. Span BC does not have any effect. That means at node 3 we do not have any problem there. So what will happen? K13 will be equal to 0. Alright, able to understand? Yes. So what we do here? So K12, K11 is over, K13 is also over, then K12 is also over. Next, in the next case, what we do? We draw another beam here. We'll draw another beam here, and here, see, here we have this support here, we have roller support at this location, and here we have a hinge support again. So this is 2I and this is I. So this is node 1, this is node 2 and this is node 3. So what is happening here? I will try to apply a clockwise rotation at this location. So what happens to this span? This will try to get deflected in downward direction, whereas this span will try to get deflection in upward direction. I am trying to rotate my support, isn't it? So what happens there? So we'll start from K21 now. K21. I am applying at 2. What is happening at this location? That is what we need. So K21 is equal to 2EI by L for span AB. Alright. So 2EI is how much for span AB? Again 2I. Right? We know that. So 2EI by L. L is 10 meters. So which is equal to how much? 0.4 EI K21. Okay, then What about K22? We are applying rotation at this location, and see here I am applying rotation at this location. So what is happening? My entire rotation is my entire slope is getting rotated on both the sides, isn't it? So what happens here? I'll write here 4EI by L for span AB, plus again what happens? 4EI by L for span BC. Okay, since I'm rotating here, I'm rotating at this location, so I'll take 4EI by L. So this is far end, this is far end, that is why we are taking 2EI by L. Okay, so we'll write here 4E. I is how much for span AB? We know 2I divided by 10 plus 4E. I is I there for span BC. What about span BC? We have span of BC is 5 meters, right? Span of BC is 5 meters. So once you solve this one, K22, so 4 2s are 8, so this is 0.8 EI. Then 4 by 5 is how much? 4 by 5 is you will get some value here, EI. So once you add K22, the final value for K22 is 1.6 EI. 1.6 EI. So this is K22. Alright. Then what about K23? K23. See, we are rotating at this location, but what will happen at this location? It will be K23 will be 4EI by L or 2EI by L? 2EI by L. 2EI by L, which is equal to 2E. I is I there, right? I is I as it is by span is 5 meters. So K23 is equal to 0.4 EI. So we got K23 also. K21 we got, K22 we got, and K23 also we got. Now we'll go for K31. So to calculate K31, we'll draw again our beam like this. Okay. And this is the support we have there. This is the roller support we have. And along with that we have a hinge support again like this. So this is my node 1. Nodes will be same, isn't it? So this is node 3. So what we are doing in K31, we are trying to rotate the third node in clockwise direction. Always the rotation should be in clockwise direction. So we are rotating this one. So if you rotate like this, so my beam will try to get deflected in this fashion. Okay, till here only. There will be no rotation at this location for span AB. Okay, so like this, no rotation for this one. This will be as it is. If you rotate at this location, then there will have some deflection on span AB. Okay, so this is 2I and this is I. This is 10 meter and this is 5 meters. Okay, so what happens to K31? So since there is no rotation, so K31 will be equal to 0. K32 is equal to, since we are rotating here, so what will happen here? It will be 2EI by L for span BC. So 2EI is I as it is, whole divided by 5, which is equal to K32 is equal to how much we got? We got it as 0.4 EI. This is K32. Okay. Next, we will have K33. K33 is, we are rotating at this location, isn't it? So what will happen there? 4EI by L. Span is BC or CB. So that implies 4EI as it is, whole divided by 5, which is equal to 0.8 EI. So K33. So this is how we got K12, K12, K11, K12, K13. So now we will take down the entire matrix. Okay, so that is my K matrix. So that is this K. this K is equal to is nothing but K11, then K12, then K13. This is K21, K21, K22, K23, then K31, K32 and K33. So we'll write all the values accordingly here. So what are the values we got for K11? K11, you can see here K11, where is K11? Here we have K11, that is 0.8 EI. So 0.8 EI. Then K12, what is the value of K12 we got? K12 we got it as 0.4 EI. 0.4 EI. Then what is the value of K13 we got? So K13 is 0 here. Yes. This is 0. What about K21 we got? K21, where is K21? K21 is 0.4 EI. 0.4 EI. Similarly, K22 we got it as 1.6 EI. Then this value is 0.4 EI. What about K31, K32, K33? K31 is 0, K32 is 0.4, 0, 0.4, and finally we got 0.8 EI. This is also EI. So these are the values we got. Alright. So after placing these values, what we do? We go for the calculation of fixed end moments. Fixed end moments. So how to calculate fixed end moments? We all know fixed end moments can be calculated very easily, right? So we'll try to take down this beam, this part of the beam, especially this part. Okay, I'll select this part of my beam. Okay, and we'll try to take it in our location so that it will be easy for us to calculate our moments. Okay. We'll take it down so that our simplification will be simplified. So we'll place our beam here. So we'll place it here. Okay. So what will be the fixed end moments? Fixed end moments. So that means MFAB is equal to minus WL by 8, which is equal to minus 20 into 20 into 10 divided by 8, which is equal to minus 25 kilonewton meter. Okay. Then what about MFBA? We'll get it will be plus WL by 8, isn't it? So it will be plus 25 kilonewton meter. Similarly, we'll take down MFBC is equal to minus WAB square by L square, which is equal to minus 25 into 2 into 3 square whole divided by 5 square, which is equal to minus 18 kilonewton meter. Then MFCB will be equal to plus WA square B by L square is equal to plus 25 into 2 square into 2 square into 3 whole divided by 5 square, which is equal to plus 12 kilonewton meter. So once you do the calculation part, we'll move to the final simplification, that is we have delta is equal to inverse of stiffness matrix into P minus P dash. Okay, so here in this case we have P1, P2, P3. P1 is equal to minus 30 kilonewton meter, P2 is 0 and P3 is 20 kilonewton meter. So what is this? How we got this one? We got here, see this one. This is P1, at this location it is P2 and at this location it is P3. So P1 we got it as 30 kilonewton meter. Why we are taking minus? Because it is going in anti-clockwise direction. So P1, P2 is over. Then we have P1 dash, P2 dash, then P3 dash. Minus 25, 7 and 12. Okay, kilonewton meter, kilonewton meter, kilonewton meter. Okay, so how we got this P1 minus 25 kilonewton meter? With the help of this. How we got this 7 P2 dash? P2 dash we got with the help of simplification of MFBA and MFBC. So you can see here plus 25 and minus 18. 25 minus 18 is how much? 7 we got. Then 12 is this 12. Now substitute all the values here. That is, we have P minus P dash, right? P minus P dash. So what we are doing here, P1 minus P dash, then P2 minus P2 dash, P3 minus P3 dash. Okay, so solve this one. P1 this minus 30 and minus of minus plus, no? So what will happen to P1 minus P1 dash? It will be minus 5. Then here it is minus 7. Then we have here 8. 20 minus 12 is 8. So simplify this one. Just to simply substitute these values in our calculation, that is theta A, theta B and theta C. So that means I am taking EI outside. So our stiffness matrix is 0.8, 0.4, 0. Then we have here a 0.4, 1.6 and 0.4. Similarly 0, 0.4 and 0.8 we have here. We have to inverse this matrix. Then P1 minus P dash is minus 5, minus 7 and 8. So simply if you solve this one, if you do the inverse of the matrix, theta A, theta B and theta C is equal to, if you do the inverse, EI will go in denominator and the values will be, if you simplify this one, you will get minus 2.1, then minus 7.08 and 13.54. So these are the values you will get. So that means my theta A will be equal to minus 2.1 by EI, theta B is equal to minus 7.08 by EI and theta C is equal to 13.54 whole divided by EI. Okay, so these are the values of theta A, theta B and theta C. These are the values of theta B, theta C and theta A. So these are the values we got for the final one, theta B, theta C and theta A. These are the final values of theta B, theta A, theta B and theta C. Alright. So what we do here is, next, we all know so these are the values we got. Now we'll substitute all our values of theta A, theta B and theta C in the same formula which we use for slope deflection method. That is, capital MAB is equal to MFAB plus 2EI by L into 2 theta A plus theta B. Okay, so what is MFAB we got? 25 minus 25 plus 2e, I for span AB is 2i, this is very very important, by 10 into 2 into, what is the value of this one we got it as 2.1, right, whole divided by EI minus 2.1. okay, so actually it is not 2.1, we got it as 2.7. okay, just make a correction, we got it as 2.7, it's 2.7 by EI plus theta B is minus 7.08 whole divided by EI. okay, so if you solve this one, you will get the value of capital MAB is equal to 29.99 kilonewton meter. Similarly, we have to calculate MBA, MBC, MAB, MBA, and MBC is over, then what are the values we have? MAB, MBA, then MBC, MCB. That's it we have. So what are the values we get for that? We got it as 18.256 kilonewton meter, and for MBC we got it as minus 18.248 kilonewton meter. And finally we have MCB also, right? So the final value of MCB we got it as 20 kilonewton meter. So these are the final answers of fixed end moments, final moments for the given beam. okay, so these are the values we got. So this is how we calculate each and every value. I mean, the very first thing is first to find the stiffness of the matrix, then after that calculate theta values, theta A, theta B and theta C, then after that calculate the values of final moments, that is MFAB, MAB, MBA. We have to use again this formula to calculate our final values of our moments. So the only thing with the help of stiffness matrix method we are calculating here is this value, theta A, theta B, all these values are actually calculated with the help of stiffness matrix method. Thereby we have to go for the conventional thing, that is slope deflection equation. By substituting there we'll get all the values. Okay, right.